Hey Thabo, this video is brought to you by EASYBET. Click the link in the description to sign up and use code FANS50 to receive a 50 Rand sign-up bonus. And also, T&Cs apply. Under 18s are not permitted to gamble. Tango. Welcome to my FANS Wethu TV. It's the Pathway Premiership. Kaizer Chiefs 0, Cape Town City 0. I'm joined by the only fan with a PhD, Kitami.
Welcome to my FANS Wethu TV.
I'm back.
You're back. No, I can tell by the sound. And anyway, sometimes hukula hawar tusa because we have the pleasure to be interviewed gidi cheapy. But anyway, you know that you've cemented your place here, yes. And you've made yourself a credible member to be celebrated and well deserved.
He thought I was sacked.
No. No, it's understandable. Anyway, we really appreciate you for really coming back. Some other people think we don't have depth as FANS Wethu, but it was proven yesterday that having depth does not necessarily mean that you have to put the people horbadale in the game.
Sure.
But anyway, when you've got a PhD understanding of football, with time after 10 years or a decade, you'll understand. Yeah. Let's get straight into the game. Let's forget about the fact that I'm wearing a tailor-made.
Let's forget about that. No, we can talk about this first.
What is my interview?
Shaba 360. PhD Shaba 360. Damn, what's up, guy? No. Kuala burukuba. This is not Taylor. Tamila about Rasuti.
No. And yes, this suit looks nice, but again, it's the but anyway, let's get straight into the game. Let's congratulate both teams for sharing a point. I mean, they were playing a very, a similar game. They were playing your 4-3-3 from both sides. And to be honest with you, I think they should really grab themselves and really be grateful and appreciate the results that they got. I mean, even the biggest teams in the world, like the Orlando Pirates, do share a point. We've seen that yesterday. But let's talk about the brilliance of the two coaches. And I really need to emphasize this even before I can start talking about this. I mean, you talk about Msimanga, there are two center backs, and Miguel played very well. And Msimanga is the one who was making Solomon's rather at the beginning of the match to really play very well. Because remember, you are as good as the person that covers up for you. That's why you could see Solomon being able to push forward as good, because every time that he was pushing forward, he had Msimanga who was really helping him, and it's really stretching me this thing. Presidential suit. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So as much as Solomon was really pushing, Msimanga would really back him up. I mean, Edwin Dove, I think he was the man of the match today, really played very well. And I mean, if you can start by defending well, you will deal with the rest after. You understand? It's not about how expensive the foods that you eat, but as long as you roba la Cele, and this is what Kaizer Chiefs has started. But to talk about Thabo Cele, I mean, Thabo Cele, even before I spoke about him, and other people were really against it, as I spoke about a player coming from a team that didn't win against Mamelodi Sundowns. And I talked about his quality, and that's when I saw people starting writing message to say Thabo Cele was playing in Europe. Remember, when you have a PhD, you don't really need to Google to tell that a player is well educated football wise, but you can tell that this player is gifted. And I mean, it's about time that even when we compare players, we compare them according to their football education. Most of the time, I'll avoid comparing players that had a great 10 years of their life in Europe to players that have spent they are playing days here in South Africa. With all due respect to local football, but Thabo Cele is able to read space. He's able to, Thabo Cele, he does not just pass players. when he passes a player, he makes sure that player is in a good position to receive a ball now. Because remember, it's one thing to pass a player who can receive a ball, but it's another to able to anticipate or that player is in a good position, is he onside or offside, to understand, to make sure that you are playing. But today, for a very long time, I think today, Thabo Cele gave us his first shotted goal. I mean, we had checked Thabo Cele, I mean 99.9% we find that he's a quality player. And the one thing that was not lacking, remember, there's a difference if you know something and if you don't know something. We never saw him taking a shotted goal. And today, for the first time, he took a shotted goal. I mean, what a way and a technique to just try and kill that ball, just, just to bend. And he has showed us the quality of playing in Europe. Just, you don't need to kill the keeper, but place it with power. Unfortunately, the gods of football denied him. And again, you talk about Elilepo, whom maybe in the same moment had the same position coming from the left, coming with his right. I mean, you talk about that Kaizer. I mean, denied by the gods of football. I mean, the crossbar denied him. But again, you talk about, and I think another reason why here in South Africa it's a general concern. We are struggling to score goals precisely because we don't generally our lack of understanding of strikers. Hence, you will find a good striker here in South Africa is defined as a cow. Thabo, a striker or a number 9, their basic job is just to score goals.
That's true.
For us to demand more than in fact, food, not to taste well. Yes, it's good that they taste well, but a striker, EASYBET, should always be in the kitchen, inside the box. That's why, Rona, our failure to understand them, we end up thinking that it's just that we don't understand. We rely. That's why, as a country, we export more midfielders and wingers and maybe defenders outside of the country, precisely because we will never produce something that we dislike. Look at every time our wingers come, they stretch wide. I mean, when you stretch wide, it's basic football understanding that when you spread wide, the angle iba tight, and this is what our wingers give you. When they go wide, they always take shot at goal. What is that? Because when you go wide, you must always drift in and look for a player inside the box, deliver a cross, maybe inside the box. Those are your chances. Unless if you are as great as Pulemodi, whom I think is one of the greatest wingers here in South Africa. Unfortunately, he has not found his scoring boots or his scoring form. But he's able, and he knows and understands science. Every time he goes to his weaker foot, which is the left, and always cuts to his right and cuts in with a goal. Unfortunately, doesn't score. He has done that even against Emudao. He has done that even today. But unfortunately, he was denied many times. But again, you talk about these guys, they played very well. I mean, you cannot deny the brilliancy of a World Cup winner at the age of 12, Kamogelo Mokocho, whom again is misunderstood because he makes football to be simple. Again, it comes to European football. I mean, we are talking about a highly rated player in Denmark. The only thing that made him to come back is just homesick. But unfortunately, we want people who overdoes things for us to understand how good they are. I mean, Kamogelo Mokocho is able to scan when the ball is coming, when the ball is off him. He's able to read the game while playing, and that's genius. Again, we are demanding too much outside of our strikers. That's why when you saw EASYBET always wanted to drop deep, collect players, just because now he's listening to what this is the typical fans that I'm talking about. But anyway, hurry your down. But what I'm trying to say is, he is doing a job that he shouldn't be doing. He must always be in the kitchen because he's a chef, he's a finisher. You find him always drifting back and not allowing him to always be in that position. Let me tell you, the leading goal scorer of this league understands how to be in the kitchen. Sometimes he's being criticized to say he's not playing with us and everything, but he understands the basic work, which is this guy, Mabasa, the leading goal scorer of 2023-2024 season. Precisely because he does that, he doesn't overdo things, but he overscores. That's what he does. And EASYBET, let me tell you, if you can understand how he plays, he can give you that. Unfortunately, hence I'm saying that our lack of understanding makes us to think that he's not a good player. And I dare tell you the very same thing I said about my brother. You're disturbing me like serious. You're disturbing me like serious. But again, it's the very same thing when I commended our Bafana centre back and the guy who won, former Kaizer Chiefs player, Ngezani. I said Ngezani is the best centre right back in the country, and you find a lot of analysts from a different podcast saying Winkomo, because our lack of understanding makes us to think that people that are great are not great. And let me tell you, he's been celebrated in Europe. After I said that, and I apologize, he became defender of the season. Can you imagine? Us, we don't understand him, yet Europeans understand how great he is. And that's the reason why he went there. It takes something for a player to go outside of the country. Sometimes, even if you dislike someone, how they play, ask yourself, why would they want him in Europe? Why would you go there and become, that great? It means the problem is not him, it's you. And just because you talk too much, you think you understand. But again, this game had all element, and it just exposed us as South Africans that we are failing. That's why it will continue being a national struggle, that we won't succeed, not because we're not good, but because we cannot master the basics which are of finishing. We are very selfish generally as a country. Our wingers are very selfish. They don't look at the person who is inside the box. When a striker is not scoring, we don't blame those that are supplying. Thabo, you can never blame a child for going to school without uniform. You need to blame the parents of saying, parents, you are not delivering uniform to this kid. That's why he's going to school without uniform. You are blaming strikers that should be relying from people who should deliver from him, and then blame that player when they don't score. But anyway, I've got a PhD understanding of football, and it's beyond time. Maybe they'll understand after 2 or 3 decades. Remember, we had one of the greatest strikers, the late Phil Masinga. The late Phil Masinga went to Leeds United, and when they asked him, do you need someone when you feel homesick? Do you need to bring someone? And he brought Lucas Radebe. Can you imagine that a player that was being booed, being embarrassed in front of the whole people, of the whole country, in front of a stadium, in the old FNB stadium, people were booing him at Bafana level. The very same player that contributed or made it possible for Lucas Radebe, one of the greatest centre backs in the world. But he made them. But when he comes to this country, he's been booed because of our lack of understanding. Just because you don't understand something, it doesn't mean that you're right. And sometimes just say you don't understand. Remember, some of us, we speak progressive sense. That's why it takes some people time to understand when we say things. For example, I'll give you just a typical example. Yeah. If I say Orlando Pirates does not lose, we only win, I'm misunderstood. You know why? If I tell the girlfriend that I'm with on Monday that I love you and we'll never break up, only death will break us, and tomorrow on Tuesday we'll break up, and on Wednesday I tell someone that I love her more than life itself, I'm not wrong. I'm speaking in the context of time. If you want to dispute what I'm saying, don't dispute it on Wednesday while I said it on Monday, because that alone shows the level of your stupidity. If I said when Orlando Pirates was winning 7 games in a row and I said we don't lose, we don't and you go out, you want to bring the very same video later, then you understand you're an incomplete of note, and we understand where you come from, because context does not suit you. You understand? But anyway, people are allowed, and I'm not here to talk about that. That's why when we talk about the league, that the league is far from being gone, we are being understood. Because remember, when someone cannot comprehend things, they think someone is beautiful. The very same suit that you're saying is nice, someone can say is not nice, but 10 years later they might say that was the best suit ever. That's why you see even fashion, after decades and decades and decades, it comes back and in cycle. But when you don't have a PhD and disagree with people that have got PhD with your 3-day certificate, you'll never get it. Yeah. Sometimes you need to sit down and just listen to us as we speak. But anyway, remember, many can listen. That's why our ears are always open and our mouths it's up to us whether we speak or not. And most of the people, rather, they say we speak a lot. They forgot to say we speak a lot of sense. But anyway, Harioda, you talk about their goalkeeper, and I'm still talking about the game. game. If you've got a PhD or you don't have, you won't understand. But talk about one of the best goalkeepers in the country, Prince Vuma. You know why they won't value him or they won't see his importance? He saved Kaizer Chiefs here. It's precisely because Kaizer Chiefs is not winning. Remember, there are people who only analyze things according to what is happening. Remember, Steve, there are people who laugh to your jokes just because you've got money. Not because they are funny. It's the same as Prince Vuma. He's performing very well. He's doing very well. He's saving the team. But because the team is not winning, people think he's not doing well. I can tell you, Prince Vuma, if you were to check him, he's by far one of the best. I can say #1 goalkeeper at the moment. But people won't understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You talk about Thabo Cele. I think if you check Thabo Cele today, the whole match, he has lost one ball, and it was an argument whether it's a foul or not. But if you're a midfielder and you have time, go talk to Thabo Cele. Ask him about the 10 years experience that he has in Europe. And if we are not finding a level of Thabo Cele's caliber, that's why when we tell people that Thabo Cele, the PSL is just a joking place for him, people don't understand. You understand? He's a level, and unfortunately, I had the opportunity as always to talk to him and really appreciate him, to say he will become, he is by far one of the greatest midfielders to ever come into this country. I'm telling you. You know why? He come at an era where Kaizer Chiefs is going through the West. Remember, we are talking about a team that won cups every season. But now, they started not winning cup for the first time and until the 11th time or the 10th time. And when you're doing well as an individual, you'll be judged wrongly. You understand? But anyway, congratulations to both teams, and talk about Darren Keat, their goalkeeper. Thabo, the reason why Kaizer Chiefs missed many goals here is because every time they came, Darren Keat closed the angle, and the goalkeepers and these guys, they were so accurate in finding that don't just shoot to make the goalkeeper save. It's like ushela muthu asaleng standard in sa hao wa tsewa re tlo bumper or jela nako because ke uko standard in sa rona. You understand? Wena wa tseba re ngwana batho, even if a ka o qoma ke mathata fela tlo metsetsa di call back. You understand? But this is precisely what these guys were doing. They can see that Darren Keat is closing all angles. What are we going to do? We just need to find that space or that small space. And if a goalkeeper makes sure that is that good and becomes so huge, what do? Are you just going to shoot just to say, I shot a goal? Let me tell you, Barcelona, when they played the semi-finals, UEFA Champions League, because I have to tell you the ungooglables, because Google does not allow me to Google. This is what they did. They lost the whole match to I think it was Jose Mourinho, without any shot at goal. And the Barcelona supporters clapped hands because they understand the culture of the team, that we don't just shoot for the sake of shooting, we shoot to score. Thabo Cele today has proven to us that, questioning as we had, that how come you don't score? How come you don't take a shot at goal? Let me tell you, strikers, good people, talented people hardly do things for the fun of doing them. Do you understand? They are not normal. That's why he played around 4 games. He never took a shot at goal. He took once. There are players here who took 15 shots at goal. Nothing, not even a goalkeeper can save that thing. Because for them, it's just to say, every time back to the floor. We don't do that. Again, when you talk about Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League days, then when the Ronaldo played for Real Madrid, I think it was a UEFA semi-final again. They had 2 shots at goal and they scored those 2 shots at goals. The whole 90 minutes, they shot 2 times. Let's stop this thing of just doing things for the fun of it. That's why you hear, and I still say, all Orlando Pirates, because I know it's an ongoing matter, all Orlando Pirates fans now can just step aside. I will support it alone if I'm the only person, because their understanding is right. Remember, we are 4 games behind, and let me tell you, the possibility, all the points that Sundowns have acquired is precisely because they were game at hand. An opportunity, because Kaizer understand I'm jolo too much. Hangwana ba to offer the number. It's an opportunity for you, Rukapopa. If I've got games in hand. I've got an opportunity. It's up to me. How do I do it right? But if one about to call back in another ring, it's up to Orlando Pirates to work hard and not look at the side and say we are going there. That's why it will always remain an argument, and we'll hear people on the comment section. Just because you cannot match my IQ level, it doesn't make me a fool. Wait for 30 years, you'll understand me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am